right. So, Nicole, you're back. You missed the Brant Walker interview.
I did, unfortunately, but I watched a little bit of it, and you did amazing, as always.
Yeah, how'd you feel about the interview in general, though? Because I missed your commentary. There were moments that I was like, I want to look over at Nicole, and I want to hear.
You just want to look at my face because you can tell everything from my
can.
face.
Yeah, it's great. I love
love
all the cuts of you nodding, and like so. One of my favorite parts is that our producer Missy had no idea how to do any sort of video editing before that.
Dude, a huge shout out. Huge shout out to Missy and Ryan Long. Yes, Missy goes first because it's 2025 and she's a badass. But
we support women's rights and wrongs on this podcast.
They turned out these 3 episodes in like a record time on top of day jobs and responsibilities, and it's amazing. Like, yeah.
Incredible work. Genuinely.
We love them.
Very good, very good. And the response from the community has been crazy. We're a local niche political podcast, and we've got almost 1,000 views on our first 2 videos with Strable and Goins.
I'm not gonna lie, Cory. I knew you were a staple in this town, a folk hero of sorts. But I did not, honestly, I did not expect all 3 of them to even agree to interview with us. So it was really impressive. Like, you hold a lot of power, and that's why people respond to you. Like, it's not a surprise it took off, man. It's not a surprise.
Don't tell me I have power.
I'm making his head too big. I gotta shut the fuck up.
I will
now.
get mad with that power. I mean, I already made Brant Walker tell me that he'd let me go up in a fire truck again to yell at everybody.
I think he was just trying to be nice. I did see that. His face, though. Like, I
want to hear what you think of the rest of the candidates. Because you were here for the Goins interview. That was our first one.
I was.
What's your, how did you come into this? Who was your first, second, and third?
Just Goins. I wanted Goins. But then after all 3 of them, Ray.
Ray's your choice now? All right.
Yeah, I was very surprised, but there's a lot of reasons why. What about you?
Okay, so I came in here, and I came in with Goins number 1, Walker number 2, Strable number 3.
Oh, I didn't do 3.
Well, I'm saying before I interviewed all of them.
Oh, before.
Yeah, before the interviews.
Before it was Goins,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was Walker, and then it was Ray.
So we had the same top 3,
yes,
and now I think I have to discuss it with you before I can pick a top 1, because Ray calling Zach Yinger a degenerate. Yeah. That was crazy. He did it twice. He said he was going to, like, beat him up.
Yeah, I respect a little bit of violence. A little bit.
I want my mayor to beat a guy in a parking lot. You know, it's Alton. Just, like, take him down to that.
Where should he beat him up, though?
The same place everyone else gets beat up in Alton. Some random parking lot downtown.
I think it should be, like, a specific dueling place.
Norbs
does have a lot. Yeah.
I mean, they talk about the dueling squares in olden times, and Norbs is Alton's dueling square of olden times. The amount of fights I've seen in that, but all right.
Okay, we're moving on.
So we are
on
some insane tangents.
No, okay.
Yeah. So Ray Strable saying he called Yinger a degenerate, said he's gonna beat him up in like some parking lot. That was awesome. That was top tier
I like that he
hell yeah, brother moments. You know,
I like that he actually has an opinion about stuff, and a strong opinion. And I honestly feel like even if it was an opinion I didn't exactly agree with, he has a backbone. He says, and he sticks with something. You know what I mean?
He does. But I mean, so does Walker.
Yeah, but he's very pro police.
Yeah, a little too pro police.
Yeah, and I did like when I watched the interview, he was, especially about the camera stuff.
Yeah, I don't but I mean, Ray was fighting for surveillance as well. I would say for the violence thing, Goins had the best answer. Like, getting kids, getting more things that kids need.
But then again, Walker did also say that he wanted like a community center, which I remember when we first moved here, there was the river bender. Yeah. Like that, but they kind of like fell off. They used to have lock-ins, but like I think the kids were caught like doing drugs and having sex like at one of the lock-ins. Like my son went to. Yeah, this was quite a few years ago, and so like it was there was so many kids and not enough staff. I think there was like only a few people that actually, volunteered to work with the kids.
But yeah,
I don't honestly know why. If anyone knows why that stopped being a thing, please like comment, because I am curious.
Oh yeah, definitely comment.
Like why
we're going by vibes here, so we rely on the community to tell us when we're stupid.
No, I just thought about that. I had just thought
We're
about that when we
surfing
were
the
talking about when I
vibes.
watched Walker say that. I was like, we did have a community center for children. They
But
had
like,
lock-ins and things. I talk with my hands a lot. I'm sorry.
you're
Deal with
okay.
it.
The thing about Walker, though, so Goins wanted to address the issues that cause things like drug usage and teenage sex and like how kids like need supervision. Like he was trying to go for like the child poverty and he was
Yes.
trying to go for like getting their needs met. And I think that's like the fundamental building block. But then he sort of ruined it by talking about going around and praying around the school.
Yeah, that
Like how
was
do you go from that to thoughts and prayers? And he cited Enjoy Church, right? Well, there's this thing out. I think it's called Public House. It's like this app that tells you if something is anti-woke in your area.
I just
And
heard about
Enjoy
that.
Church
Yeah.
was one of the anti-woke things in our area, which is wild because then Goins went on to talk about DEI after we asked him about trans people, and I did not like his answer about
I did
trans
not like
people.
his answer.
I
It
mean,
was really he didn't really answer it though.
the
That's the
words
thing.
life choice are not exactly something I like attributing to like queer folks, you know? It's not a life choice to me. It's who someone is.
I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot, and I think we both do. About religion mixed with politics.
Oh,
And
bad.
at the end of the day, though, I do think Goins, he's a pastor. Like that's at
That's
heart,
who he
that is
is.
who he is. And while I respect that he has, a spirituality that he finds comforting and that he's really into, I think that his answer and a lot of the stuff he said regarding his beliefs and you can kind of see that
I don't think he
didn't
would
really.
discriminate against
I know.
anyone,
I
though.
don't think. No, I don't think
No.
he would discriminate against anyone. But I also don't think that. I think it's hard for him because I think that it doesn't. It's hard to reconcile that with his own personal beliefs on whether it's a sin or not.
Exactly. And
It's,
to me, he can't be a sin. That's just how people are. And if you're going to make somebody feel guilt or shame over who they are,
but I think if you have a guy who is praying in schools, like it could be a little.
that's a slippery
That
slope.
is a slippery slope, and that's something that I have never really, like it's just always put me on edge. I don't like mixing.
I went to
religion and politics.
Catholic school for 12 years.
I know.
I
We both have
I
Catholic
have
trauma.
extreme aversions to prayer in school. Like, oh, damn, pardon me, dog. But yeah, so I totally think that Goins' interview was really cool. Like, I felt he was a good guy. He had a lot of really great plans. But at the same time, I did not like his answer to the Roe question.
Yeah, it
Like
was very much. I'm
he
gonna
would have
agree
backed
with
either one.
whatever the state's attorney said. That wasn't an answer to me.
No, and
And while I do appreciate that was somebody who he
was
had
close to it.
close to, like I still didn't like that answer though.
I know. So like Goins came in and I wanted to like him the most, and I had a lot of respect for him, and I still do. I just outside of the violence thing with the kids, like that was one of the cooler policies. I like the way he's done like the financial surplus as well. Like that's pretty cool. But
But didn't Walker kind of contest that was a thing?
Walker
in
did
his-
kind of contest
Yes,
that, but Ray and Goins both contested Walker.
Yeah.
So I also noticed Walker did not know a lot of things going on in the city. Like I asked him about sacred spaces of care, and he did not have an opinion on it. It felt like he did not have his pulse on a lot of issues in the city currently, which surprised me. The man's
Yeah,
sharp
if you're
as
currently
hell.
running, you should brush up a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, like I felt like a lot of the things I brought up he didn't know a lot about. And Ray, I did not like the way Ray talked about Main Street and Great Rivers and Routes.
Yeah.
Although I did understand what he was talking about, like if Edwardsville's not paying their fair share and Grafton's not paying their fair share,
No,
I get
yeah,
it.
that was really interesting.
But like Goins made an excellent point that a rising tide rises all boats. And I like to think that that's what Great Rivers and Routes is doing, because you bring somebody to Alton, they can go to any of the other counties. You bring them to other counties, they're going to be like, ooh. So I think if you're bringing people more nationally and regionally to this area, you're going to have a lot of people go to a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Like the river road from Alton to Grafton is beautiful. And Ray's like, we'll just take out the stoplights, go straight to Grafton. What's slowing you down? And I think that Alton is a town worth slowing down for.
It is. You're right.
But I also feel like we need to get our shit together a little more. Like we need to make it pop.
I
And
did like Ray's. I think he was a little more down with Halloween Town than
yes,
I don't know. Did you ask Walker that same
I
question
did.
about Halloween?
Walker had a
And
decent answer. It
okay.
was not as good as Ray's. Ray's throwing a whole ass festival. Ray wants to like just boogie
I like
down. Walker was like, "Hey, let's get Main Street and Great Rivers and Routes to work together to create an advertising plan." Which, yeah, I get that, but like, I want to hear the words festival. I want to think in my head, man, we could get Rob Zombie coming to Alton, dude. That'd be crazy. Like in my heart of hearts, I want like a geriatric Rob Zombie to come out to Alton and just start screaming Dragula at the amphitheater. It'll be
in our my wildest dreams, I would love that.
that would be so cool. We could like elect like a Halloween king, queen, and non-binary.
That would just mean you would tap.
Oh no. I could never be the Halloween queen. I'm too jovial. I'm a big silly guy. I'm not scary.
Yeah, I wish I could be goth. I was always too happy. Like,
You're happy?
I mean, I put on a show. I'm bubbly, I guess, is the more. I'm too bubbly to be goth, but yeah.
I'm one of those people that like, you don't think I'm goth, and then you get me talking, and I'm like, and I just have to think, you must imagine Sisyphus happy as he's rolling the same boulder out of the abyss every day and every night. I just think about how the eternal darkness should take me so I don't have to hear about this town's horrible problems any longer. Goddamn abyss, why won't you swallow me? Normal people thoughts.
Yes, you get very romantic genre with it. Like,
I'm very morose.
yes.
I'm a melancholic boy. Yeah, so maybe I am goth. I can't tell. These Pokemon socks and Thrasher bands are not very goth, though. Neither is the Dolly shirt.
Your Dolly shirt's amazing, though.
I
I
love
love that
Dolly
bitch.
Parton. I actually got to see her one time, third row in Chicago.
Oh my
She
God.
played a saxophone.
I know I told you about it, but when I accidentally picked the tickets for the South when I went to see Dolly, I took my kids to Dolly Parton Stampede and acted. I thought it was just a seating thing. I thought it was just like where you're sitting in the venue. I did not know that this was a Civil War thing. So I voted had to sit with people who actually meant to root for the South, and I'm looking around and like,
I love that that's the least cancelable thing about you.
oh.
I fought for the South at Dolly Parton's Dixieland
I was nice
Stampede.
and I ate the food and I didn't cheer for the South, but
So back to the mayors.
anyway, yes.
Which one seems the most like a Confederate general?
Walker.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, if Walker came up to me and was like, the war of Northern aggression was lost pretty handily, but I did make a fortune making Kentucky Fried Chicken, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, dude. Brant Walker is like a Colonel Sanders character would be probably, like, I'm thinking of, like, the nightmarish versions of the mayors. Like, we got mayor and then we got nightmare.
Okay.
And Brant Walker's nightmare is Colonel Sanders.
I like that. I do like that.
Ray Strabel's nightmare, though, is white dread Grateful Dead shirt Ray Strabel.
I could see him in
Oh
tie-dye.
my God. Could you imagine him
tie-dye.
coming up to you at a festival being like, hey, what's up? I'm Ray. I care a lot about
I don't know.
potholes.
You know
but
what?
today we're going to listen to some chuggy beats, man. We're going to do some Terrence McKenna jerky, man. We're going to look into my chakra and I'm going to talk to you about economic ideas. And then I don't think David Goins has a nightmare. Oh, very evangelical preacher, David Goins.
I mean, I
Like,
thought that was just reality.
no,
A
no,
little bit.
he's progressive. you
Okay,
know? Like
okay.
he doesn't agree with it, but he loves you anyway, right?
Okay.
Like I'm talking like street
I don't know,
preacher.
for me, when it
like
comes to progressive, it's like people who like will marry, same-sex couples
he
in a
might-
church.
We haven't asked him that.
Oh, you know what? We should have
we
asked him
cannot assume that he wouldn't do that.
Okay. I may be wrong
Hey,
about
he
that.
sends out that vibe, but that doesn't mean he won't.
You're
so
right. You're right.
so like even picturing the shadow versions of all these dudes that we've just concocted right now based entirely on vibes. By the way, none of these are real. Brant Walker's not a Confederate general. Ray Strabel's
No,
not a
he's not.
deadhead.
But he looks like he'd be fun to party with.
I've actually partied with Brant Walker.
No,
I
I'm not
swear-
talking
no,
about
no.
him.
Oh.
I'm talking about Ray.
Okay, do you want to hear my Brant Walker
Yes, of
party
course,
story? Because
yeah.
it's great. So he invited me to his New Year's Eve party one time. And he had like these kegs. He had a tequila bar. He had like a really cool bar in his backyard. It was fun as hell.
Okay.
So I show up with these two women, very, very attractive, very goth women. And I show up with this guy who looks straight up like Rasputin. And I dressed him in like a too tight fitting suit. And I got him so drunk, his eyes were super glazed over. And like we're talking like all these community stakeholders are there, right? He'd like just walk up to somebody that I knew was an alderman and just be like, "Hey man, I've been to the fifth dimension because, you know, my demon named Air Arc Oak, he tells me the future." And he would just like tug on their like shirts and be like, "Hey man, can I have the rest of your beer that you're holding?" And it was just like a chaos agent. And the whole time I'm like schmoozing. I didn't even like, people didn't even realize he was with me until after I left. I sent him in first, like a wandering guy.
I mean, I feel like that's like in-person trolling, which I like. I like it.
I wasn't trolling. I thought that that's just the way you arrive to a party. You know, I wasn't used to partying with like people who had stature. I was used to partying with like insane people. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll bring two hot girls and a crazy guy." That's the everybody. That's what they mean
I
by
think
bring whoever.
was it a lot more interesting though? I feel like even the guests would probably have like enjoyed.
I got a lot of looks. I mean, a guy my size shows up and there's just two hot goth girls, one on each arm, and there's a crazy man that seems somewhat associated with them shaking you down for the half drank booze in your hand. Like, that's bonkers, right?
Yeah.
See, if Ray invited me to a party, I would probably not do that. And if Goins invited me to a party, I'd probably politely decline because I'd probably ruin it just by being like insane. He seems like he'd throw some very classy shindigs, and I would not know which fork to use.
I feel like, yes, no, you
I
would
would be
definitely
covered
Pretty
in, like,
Woman. You would
meat.
be Pretty Woman enough.
Oh,
like,
I'd Julia Roberts the shit out of that. They'd be like, "Did you just come off the streets?" And I'd be like, "Yes, I am a prostitute. Please feed me this steak I don't know how to eat." I'm just like sitting there ripping like a steak with my hands, being like, "Oh man, Mayor, this is some good steak." Just wiping it all over my
I don't know.
Dolly
In a
Parton
way,
shirt.
though, do you think you would simp for good information, top secret information in your
I don't have
inbox?
to. No, the problem.
No, but would you if like
What do you
so
mean by
maybe you
simp?
are a prostitute, like, you know, like
Have I ever seduced anybody for things? Is that what you're asking me?
I'm asking the real questions. I'm interviewing you now, bitch.
Okay. I've totally seduced a woman to get "My name is Earl" on a Plex server once.
Okay, you know what?
Oh my God, Nicole, you've just made me feel Catholic guilt in my belly, where it's just like,
Moving on. No Catholic guilt.
I'm like, oh
No
no,
Catholic guilt.
oh
We're not
God, what have
doing
I,
that.
what have I done?
Okay, so
I'll say 10 Hail Marys later. It's fine.
I did like Ray's socks.
The animal socks?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
it gave him
did
some charm.
really like Goen's shirt, his whole suit. I liked it.
I think Goins. So okay, I know I just said I wouldn't go to a party with Goins.
Okay.
But if Goins invited me out to like go play pinball or like go to an arcade or go some like, he's like, "Hey Cory, you want to go comic book shopping with me?" I would be there in a fucking second.
Oh yeah.
Because like, as on his way out off camera, during that interview, I'm wearing like a Godzilla shirt, and he pointed out, and he's like, "You like Godzilla?"
He did like Godzilla.
And
Yes.
the first movie he ever went to go see was Destroy All Monsters, which quintessential Godzilla. Very good movie. Like, the fact that Goins is such a nerd is beautiful. I think that puts it, that makes it, like, even with the qualms I have with Goins, the fact that he's such a good-natured, highly respected nerd who like came through a rough background, like
he's really inspirational.
he's so inspirational. So it would be hard to vote against him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that really threw me a curveball because there's a lot of his policies and a lot of his takes I didn't like, but God, damn, I really like him. Like, if I could hang out with any of them and just like spend a day doing fun activities, it'd be David Goins. Because like, notice the space Godzilla right there, that little blue guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I love Godzilla. That's a rare 90s space Godzilla. That thing's
I love that.
probably worth like $100, and Tab's got it for me for Christmas.
She
And now
treats
it's
you
here.
so well.
She spoils my ass. Anyway, the mayors.
Yes, let's go back
Damn
to the
it,
mayor.
Nicole.
Sorry. Okay.
We have such beautiful stories.
Okay. So
So we're trying to
going
pick
back
one.
to the mayors.
So I would like to say
Yes.
that we Walker really killed the Alton Works question. Like, he nailed that. Like, he's like,
So I wasn't here for that. Can you
okay,
tell me?
I'll
what
give
he
you
said?
I'll give you a
Give me
rundown. Okay, so we asked him about it, and he was like, "I want to know what that man's doing with these buildings." Whenever I buy a building,
Oh,
I see it. You heard that.
Yo, I did hear that.
Yeah,
I
that was
did.
such a good
He
take.
questioned why. Why is he buying up so many
What's he
properties?
doing
What's
with
he
all of
doing with
them?
them?
And I love that. And
I
like
did
he
like that.
pointed out like how the plans have all shifted, and that was the best Alton Works take. And if you follow me on any social media, you know I'm a thorn in Alton Works' ass. I made all those AI videos about how they're hiding goblins in the Wedge building. So so the fact that they
And I like how you pointed out that like the 3 buildings that he originally purchased, we don't hear
the
much
Grand, the
about.
Stratford,
Yeah.
like we don't hear shit about those anymore. And I think it's really sad that so much potential in Alton has been bought up by one person. But one of the reasons is because a lot of people will not sell those buildings for what they're actually worth if you have to factor in maintenance. So it's a real big city problem, and I feel like Walker has the best solution to it, which is a point against Strabel because he is the most funded. And a lot, like, I know not all of his funding comes from Alton Works, and I know like only 2 people connected to Simmons has donated to his campaign, but that's still 2 people from the Simmons group that really did that, and he gave them our TIF money. And
Yeah.
man, when a guy with as much money as John Simmons is asking for TIF money, it's a problem to me. Like we have so many like poor businesses, and I think.
But
Walker,
what did you think about his answer though? To like when he went in to say that he knows like what a good-hearted person John Simmons is.
I think that while I might agree with that, I think that it blinds him to the.
Because he made it more of like it was Alton Works in general, and
I think
John
he's
Simmons
right.
just is like being run over by other people regarding.
I think that
choices.
gives John Simmons too much room. I think that the man created Alton Works. He can destroy Alton Works if he wants. Like, I think John Simmons can do whatever the hell he pleases, and that's scary. Like with that much money and power, it's not good. And I think that I would rather a mayor that's just said, I don't care how much money you have. I don't give 2 shits, man. I would much rather somebody like Walker have that aspect. And also Walker talking about the sinkhole at Gordon Moore, because during his administration, Walker did a lot for the parks. Like a lot of grant and private public partnerships worked together to put like $2 million in Gordon Moore. Like Gordon Moore really started shining under the
I know
Walker
that when I
administration.
moved here, you know, it's right down the street from my house, so it's one of the parks that we do tend to frequent that one.
Right.
But it was the first like accessible park in the area, and it was a big deal because it had just opened up. I think around
the sensory
time.
playground.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought that up, and I really like that. And I think Walker did a lot of really cool stuff to Gordon Moore. So whenever he talked about the sinkhole, I could tell he was sad. Like I could tell like he had put so much work into the place.
Dude, my daughter played soccer on that field a couple years ago, so it was kind of scary. Me and my daughter were like,
and he wanted transparency, more transparency from both the administration and the mine company, and he wanted the mine company to pay for it. And I think that was also a really good Walker.
Yeah, I
take.
like that answer. Then.
A fantastic.
I wish I was
Walker
there,
take.
but you did amazing. But I wish I was there to ask him a few questions.
I feel like Brant Walker is. I like a lot of the things he said, but I don't know if he lines up with my values exactly because of all the police things you were talking about. And I feel like the one who had the best answers that match my values was probably Ray. Especially the part where
same, which it really surprised me.
I was not ready for that. I was not mentally ready for that because I like Goins the most, and the people who I respect the most in the city are all Goins heads. So
Same.
it's like
It's hard to like, you know, it's almost like a guilty
I feel
feeling
guilty
of like,
but at the same time, I feel like Ray's kind of been shat on a little bit, especially with the Telegraph coverage of that
yeah,
call.
they definitely painted that.
They were like Ray Strabel exposed, and it's like exposed as a victim of a felony. Like that dude was recorded without his consent.
He shouldn't have been recorded at all. Like
No.
I can't believe that.
And I don't think he was trying to like arrange real estate deals as much as he was trying to like get the dude out of our city.
Yeah.
And he didn't call Zach. Zach called him. So it's like, man, it really bothered me how that was framed by local media. And I've worked at the Telegraph. Like that's where I got my start. Like I got my start watching a dude getting struck by lightning at the marina. That was my first big story. And that was in 2014. And then after that, my old editor, Bob, would like take me and like make me do journalism drills. Like I'd go over to his house and he'd be like, hey, newsboy. And I'd be like doing the news and he'd make me edit the news with him. And I became like his little special news guy, and then he left because he did too good of a job at Ferguson and got hired at the Cincinnati Enquirer and won a Pulitzer in 2016, same year as Kendrick. So that dude actually,
I'm gonna listen to this and be like, "Stop talking about me."
I know he wants to come here and be on this.
Oh, he does. I thought
Yeah.
you said he was like low key. He didn't want like much to do.
Well, you
Like,
know,
he didn't like how
he's
often
been
you praised him.
he's been blowing up my line a little bit, saying I'm gonna come get on your newscast news, son.
Oh,
I'm gonna come do it,
yeah.
boy. Anyways, so because of that training, I look at the way the Telegraph is now, and I'm just kind of like ashamed. Like I don't like it. Like the place where I got my start, like the place that made me me in journalism is like this thing that I feel like is an opposing force to our community. And I hate that. I love journalism. And like, you know, I have a soft spot for Riverbender. I work there as well. I love CJ's morning show. I love I've been working with Sydney Sinks on a few things. She's a really fun reporter there. I love reading her blogs. And I worked for Dan for a long time, and I like Dan. Dan's a good dude. And I actually just passed the owner of Riverbender on my way here, John, who was checking out my pimp car. And honestly, like, I feel like Riverbender gave me or took off the training wheels and like let me really go. But now they don't do investigations anymore, which, you know,
Is there a reason for that?
probably the amount of so Riverbender is mostly ad funded. There's no subscription funding, and like you got to be really careful considering how many people advertise from all sides of everything. So like, you know, I'm kind of an antagonistic bastard. It wasn't really a good fit for me, and I had some bitterness about it for a while, but like I see what they're doing, and I think that I was mad at Riverbender for not fulfilling a niche they never filled. And I should be more mad at the Telegraph because they're the investigators. They should be the ones hitting the pavement doing this shit.
I love that you like never stopped reporting. You took it to social media though. You really did. Like you never stopped.
But like I think that's what brought us to this moment talking about the mayors right now is because of that. Because I don't want to just be on Facebook saying shit. I want to be held accountable. I want to have like a team. I want to have a platform that is more than just me yelling on Facebook, because how many independent journalists yelling on Facebook have gotten us fake news and stupid stories? Like, dude, I even messed up today thinking that a Wood River Township trustee was a Wood River City Council person. Two different things. Very different things.
See,
yeah. So like, whenever I talk about how I want everyone else to be more civically engaged, I need to be more civically engaged.
No, I've learned so much over the last few weeks from you and the candidates alike. You know, like I am not as politically informed as you are, and that's just the truth. So like this has been a learning experience, like just trying to pick and choose. So yeah, I appreciate your input
But I feel like it's all for nothing if people don't do something with it. You know what I mean? Like I want people to watch these interviews like we are and like really like sit down and think about their values compared to what the candidates are
not just
saying.
what your friends are voting for.
Yeah, like be a free thinking, critically thinking human being. And I want them to watch those videos because we're talking right now with our biases. But whenever we were interviewing them, I try to put them in the back burner. Like I have my values.
No, you were very.
I care about the homeless.
And you were very.
There were some things I wanted to push back on a little more than I did. Believe you me, I wanted to push back on quite a few things, but I kind of wanted the candidates to speak for themselves because ultimately, journalism, I can't ever put away my bias. I'm an insanely political person. I'm more left wing than most people. I'm very informed on history. I read a lot of philosophy. Like, I'm very into the whole just concept of politics. So for me to not have a bias would be for me to be ignorant of everything I've studied. But I believe that the very cornerstone of even my politics are local elections. And I think that these candidates are nonpartisan. And I wanted to speak to them about the city in a way that people who might not be the left-wing nut job I am can look at and say, hey, I agree with that. Even if I push back on something like crime-free housing, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
I don't like what Walker was saying about it. I understand why somebody would be though. And I don't want to take away their ability to make that decision by being like, you're an asshole if you like crime-free housing.
Exactly, yeah.
And like Ray with the funding of the tourism, I did not like the way he talked about Main Street or Great Rivers and Routes. Yeah. And I personally like Sarah McGibney and I personally like Cory Jobe, the people who run those things. And I think that to take away Ray's entire platform because I don't agree with those two things is also not fair. It's the same with Goins and the way he responded to the trans question.
They all, I mean, all of them have good things and bad things, and
Yeah,
it's up
there's
to
some
you
baggage.
to kind of, yeah, it's up to the
And
people
it's up to their
voting. Like, yeah,
priorities. Like my priorities
and your values, and like if they align with you, vote for them.
but also like no matter which one wins, right? You now know what you don't agree with. And if I've learned anything, it's if you don't agree with the government on a local level, you just call up all the boys and you say, "Hey, this is bullshit. We should go yell at a city council meeting. You want to go yell at a city council meeting with me? Come on, guys, we're going to yell at a city council meeting." It works. It has worked so many times for me to just get a bunch of people together and go yell at the city council. It's so fun. It's really fun because they work for you. They really do work for you, and they care about your votes because that's their thing. Like you can be like, "Oh, they're powerful." And it's like, "No, they're not. They live like 3 doors down from you." Like they have to deal with the same shit we do every single day. So if you go to a city council meeting and you yell or call your representative, like I called John Meehan about the Kyle Holker situation, and we talked. We really spoke about it, and I told him I was like, I was going to run for the 5th ward till I realized you vote about the same as I would. And it's true. I researched John Meehan, my guy who lives in my ward. And not everyone knows that they live in a ward. Not everyone knows that they have a representative to
I'm not gonna
City
lie, I
Hall.
do not know what ward I even live in.
I'm going to
I'm
send you a
not
map
from here.
later. I
Please,
think
I'm not even from here
I think
originally,
this
so I would
weekend
love to
I want to make like
know.
a voter guide, like on the Second Press Facebook. I want to do a voter guide where I break down the polling places, the wards you live in, who your representatives are, maybe have
I
like
think
a
that would be
link to a sample
incredibly
ballot.
helpful.
Yeah, because Walker was in here and he was saying that there was not nearly enough people early voting. In fact, there's more viewers on our videos than there are people who early voted. And it's sad that a city of like 25,000 people can be decided by 1,000 voters. And I've always believed in being civically engaged. And I don't know, maybe I'm a nerd for that. It feels like nerd shit.
I mean, maybe it is, but it shouldn't be.
No,
It
like I
really
mean,
shouldn't be.
look at
Voting
what
should not be nerd shit.
but it also should not be the only thing people are doing right now. Like things are hard out there. We need to be organizing our communities. We need to be checking in on people. We need to be doing mutual aid. Like each according to their ability, each according to their need kind of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people are scared right now, and other people are way too happy to see human suffering. And
Agreed.
I hate that juxtaposition because if it was happening to their own family, they would not
Oh,
be so
they would.
thrilled.
No.
And it sucks that it has to happen to them for them to care. And for other people, it sucks that they have to live in fear while other people view their suffering as a victory. And I wish politics didn't look like that. And I don't think they've always looked like that. I miss whenever it's just crazy people yelling about taxes and chemtrails. You know, it's like, I want the chemtrails out my sky and I want them taxes out my bill. And it's like, hell yeah, Donkey Dan, let's do it. And now it's more like those trans people, they pee in the litter boxes in the schools. And that's why the 5G towers made my vaccine activate. And now I don't know how my daughter will ever talk to me again.
I feel like you're just a king of the hill.
God, no, like the Dale
character
Gribble,
right now. Yes, it's
I
giving
swear
Dale.
to God, half of this country is Dale Gribble. Like QAnon just cooked so many people's brains. And
Yes.
because of that, a lot of people feel powerless. It's powerless to fight against this hydra of misinformation and cruelty. But in local elections, you have power. You have so much power to affect change. Like Brant Walker will do crime-free housing. That'll change Alton for better or worse. Ray Strabel is going to change the way that a lot of our gray rivers and routes and Main Street looks. And I would want to talk to Sarah and Corey Job about that because like that's going to affect how I vote because I'm still pretty undecided. Like I really liked Ray showing up. I really liked all of them showing up. And I liked all the time that we spent with them. And I think that Ray shined the most in these interviews, but I don't know if Ray shines the most as a candidate.
Can I give my very basic bitch rundown
Absolutely.
of my feelings in a nutshell?
I won't even respond. I want you to ramble to your heart's desire.
This is how I feel. I feel Goins is a well-meaning guy who's a little in over his head. And I think that Stribble. Is it Stribble?
Strabel.
I always pronounce his name wrong.
I know. It's Strabel. We went over it.
I know.
Strubel.
Strabel. I think that he is almost like when people originally voted for Trump the first time around, like a businessman, they thought that they were going to get a businessman who wasn't into politics and everything. And I think it's like if Trump was kind of maybe good, and I think Walker is kind of like
you thought you got Trump vibes from Walker?
A little bit.
He had a very diverse cabinet, though.
Yes, but he gave me white savior vibes. He kept on talking about how I was the first, and I guess that's where the Trumpy vibes came in. But yeah, I think that's my basic like rundown of like I think Ray. I'm just gonna say Ray.
Okay.
I was gonna say Ray. I think that I think I'm voting for him. I think he really did win me over. I really do think he doesn't, and he even said he doesn't want to like stay mayor. He doesn't want to stay in politics.
They all say that though.
Yeah, but I really genuinely, for some reason, and it is a vibe thing, I guess. Like it's not just because I think he's a little bit hot. It's not because
you did think he was hot. I saw that Facebook post.
A little bit. Shh. It wasn't on my main.
I know. It was a secret Facebook post.
But just
I
like
saw
in a weird way, yes, a little bit, but does not impact my vote at all. No, I genuinely liked his answers more, like I did on a lot of the issues, and I really liked his socks, and I think a dude with fun socks. Like,
well, what do you think of my Snorlax?
Hey, you want to be on here because I'm a regular freaking person.
I know.
And these are the people, like, I did notice those earlier.
Little
and
Snorlax,
yes, like,
little Bulbasaur.
I can tell that you're a kind dude.
I do my best. Which candidate we could see just totally pulling the wool over our eyes and doing something completely different than what they said? And you know what? My answer is Ray.
Actually, same. I was like, no, he could either, honestly.
Yeah, that's something that's a point for Walker and Goins.
Because I do think that Walker is who he says he is. He's very straightforward. I was actually at Cat Daddy's the other day, and there was two guys, and I was overhearing, and then we started talking about who they were voting for. They were totally Team Walker, and they actually acted like they said, Ray's not even in the running.
I mean, I've heard that too, but I feel like, man, anyone who watched that video though, has a different opinion of Ray now because. I do. I have a very different opinion of Ray. Like, I liked him during the 420 saga. We went out for coffee. We talked.
I didn't like his money from Alton Works and his.
I don't like his TIF money thing. I did not like he brought in the Kyle Holker thing. He introduced the camping ban. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, it's become a toss up between Ray and Goins.
But he's the mayor, and he voted for my chili, and I feel like I'm trading. Like I'm a traitor.
I mean. Also, we don't actually have to tell anyone who we voted for either.
No, we don't. But like, I still don't. Like, yeah, like I'm leaning towards. But yeah, we don't have to. You don't have to say anything to anyone.
No, you really don't.
Fuck your grandpa. Fuck your auntie. Like I'm just being honest. Like vote for you. Don't vote to please your family. Like I'm telling you.
And like, I feel like one of the cool things about these candidates are like, if we vote for one of them, the other two wouldn't care. Like, no matter who's going to be mayor, I'm fully prepared to. Round up the boys, go yell at city council. Like I'm fully prepared to yell at the mayor.
I will be there with you.
You want to come to city council and yell at the mayor with me? It's so much fun. Man, God, I love doing it. I love getting up on that podium and being like, hey, it's me again. I'm about to riff some shit. I'm mad as hell. You saw my Holker speech, didn't you? That was crazy. I'm just like, I just went in on him.
I hope every single one of you here reconsiders giving our tax money to somebody who has multiple serious allegations. How many people does it take for you to believe them? I'd say about 7 of them have independently reached out to me and told me stories that are going to give me nightmares. Like the last time I was up here talking to you about Studio 420, which is gone now. Good job, guys. So, in short, I really don't like Kyle Holker being in our town. And I don't want to hold his violent conviction from 2015 against him because, people grow, people change. I want people to be redeemed. And if he is, good for him. I would like to see that. But the people who claim to be his victims don't see that. And they're terrified.
Because, like, I don't know. I get mad. I'm a passionate dude. I love Alton with all of my heart and soul. And I have so many people being like, why are you just in Alton? Why can't you come to Godfrey? And it's like, why can't you do this in Godfrey? Why can't you do this in Wood River? Like, one of the reasons I'm so effective in Alton is because there's so many people around me that genuinely care. Like, all I have to do is say, hey, this is happening. You should care about this. Here's why. And they go, I should care about this. I didn't know about this.
Mm-hmm.
Show me how to do it. And I'm like,
You keep people informed
it's the
before everyone else.
cornerstone.
Like, you know shit before most people that I know. I have a question, though.
Name it.
Are there any questions you didn't get to ask that you wish you would have asked any of the
Yes.
candidates? What is
Yes.
it?
I'm trying to think. I wish I would have asked Ray why he didn't go on CJ's show. I wanted to ask Walker a few more questions about community policing because I was on the Community Relations Commission. I resigned because I felt like it was kind of toothless. And I wanted to do more with community policing. Like, I really, really wanted to get the city and its people involved with each other more.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to do like amnesty acts for suspended licenses, which is cool. I love that. Alton at one point had like more suspended licenses per capita than anywhere else.
I did not
so-
know that, really?
Yes. So, I mean, they also take your license for child support shit.
Yeah, there are some
Yeah.
deadbeats in this area.
Yeah. So I would, I thought that it was cool to do amnesty. It really helps people get their quality of life back. But I also wanted to do a pulse check with the city to see like, hey, how do you actually feel about the cops? How do you feel about the mayor? How do you feel about these departments? Do you know enough about them? How can we actually help keep you informed on how these things affect your life? And I thought that like, that's why I'm doing a lot of the shit I'm doing now is because that love of getting people informed and making a difference has never gone away. But no, a lot of times it's me being like, all right, I'll go Wednesday nights, damn it, 6:30, fine, I'll just show up. Here I am at the podium yelling, do I look fat in this camera? I look fat in every camera, but still, I'm going to say because of my priorities in Alton and my political beliefs, and I feel like I try to vote for the least of us. I think of myself as a homeless trans immigrant. What would I feel if I lived in Alton? Like, which one of these candidates would be the best for me? And I'm still leaning toward Goins. I want to talk to a few people about a few things, but Goins is still my number one right now. I think Ray made way more of a showing. He went from third to second in an instant, and now it's to the point where I have to talk to a few stakeholders about what a Ray Strable Alton would look like to them from what they know. And I think that's how I'm going to have to make my decision. Walker is currently out of the running because of how much he loves police. But I think that that does not make him out of the city running. Like, I would not be surprised at all if he was mayor. And if he does become mayor, I don't think it's the end of the world at all just because he's not my choice candidate. I think a Brant Walker Alton, like, I've lived in a Brant Walker Alton. I had a great time in a Brant Walker Alton. So I feel like he's also the easiest of the three to communicate with. So I feel like if he wins, even though I've been like, dog, you're my number 3 choice, I don't think he'd care that much. He'd still listen to my complaints
Yeah.
and treat me just fine. And I feel like that's a comfort that not a lot of people have with a lot of things. And I like the fact that in Alton, my 3rd place candidate could still run a damn fine Alton. So what's your final thoughts?
I'm leaning more towards Ray, but honestly,
Okay.
I have changed my outfit 20 times in the last like 4 hours. So that might change too. I mean, I don't know. When
What
I
would,
get there, I mean, I don't know.
You should finish watching the Walker interview because I think you're really gonna
I
like
do.
what he says about
That's my
going more.
plan.
I
There
think
was a
we're-
half day today, man. My
It's
kids
okay.
be
You're a single
loud.
mom, dude.
It was
No,
fine.
no
Like, I
worries.
tried to listen to it in between my dog shitting in my front seat on the way to the vet, like, and my daughter being loud as hell, wanting to listen to Tate McRae or I don't know, some new artist that's like Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter just combined. I
Ooh.
don't know. But yeah, that was really hard to do, and I was trying to listen.
Well, I hope
to
you
the
have
interview.
a relaxing evening for you to imbibe the Brant Walker interview.
I will. I
Because-
promise I will finish the interview
Because
it
like
is
I
important.
said,
It is
he's
important.
my 3rd candidate right now, but I loved living in Brant Walker's Alton, so like
And
give
I
him a
know you've
shot.
talked a lot about how many jobs he's brought to, like,
He
when he was
brought a lot of
here. And that was
jobs, he
when I
brought a lot of
overheard those
accolades.
guys talking at Cat Daddy's. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he won.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm on the fringe of political beliefs, so just because I pick somebody
We'll
does
see what
not mean they're
happens.
gonna win.
But it's really up to y'all. Like,
It really
that's-
is up to the people of Alton.
it's-
Like, the more of you
up to
who
you guys.
vote, the better this is.
Mhm.
So if you don't have a plan to vote April 1st,
Like, I know how we feel like in, with, our government elections and a bigger scale almost is like, your voice doesn't count. Our voices count. And this, like, they count way more.
absolutely. So make a plan to vote April 1st. Become informed about your candidates. Don't take my word for it. don't just take our interviews for it either. Like, do some research. Like, look at what they've said at the other forums. Look at articles about them. Look at interviews they had. Like, really get to know these people, because the next 4 years of our city is contingent on their beliefs. And you have a choice to make. And if you don't make it, you're just a lazy asshole. Don't be a lazy asshole.
Okay, I mean, no, he's right. Never mind. I was going to
Yeah,
try
I
to
am
defend
right.
you, but no, don't
Yeah,
be a
don't-
fucking
don't
lazy
try to
asshole.
defend
Don't be a
lazy
lazy asshole. But,
Take responsibility for the
but
city you
maybe,
want.
like, maybe they're just like busy.
It doesn't
But
matter.
no, it doesn't matter how busy
You
you
can
are.
vote early. There's early voting.
Vote early. Yes, vote early. That's what
You
I'm
can-
going to do. Yeah, I'm voting like tomorrow. I'm voting early and
Hell
registering
yeah.
tomorrow.
Like, there's so many ways to vote. Just vote. You don't have an excuse not to vote. You don't give them an excuse not to
No,
vote.
I'm not saying excuse not to vote, but I'm just saying maybe a little nicer.
No.
You should vote. Make time for you. It's self-care. It's self-care.
Yeah, voting is self-care. It's the very
self-care. Voting
least
is
you can do.
self-care. Yes.
It's the least amount of work you can do to create the city you deserve. You will get the city you deserve whether you vote or not. So fucking vote.
What he said.
If you like what you heard, like